Hello, how are you? I wanted to jump in and do this training because I often get a comment from a lot of you that says, I would love to start a business or I'd love to start a second business, but I just don't have time. And so I really wanted to pop in and share with you today some of my time saving tips and hacks. So I am Dimil and I have a traditional business that I've been running for almost 30 years. And then I also have an online business, which I guess you would call a side hustle, but it's actually now becoming my full-time income. So I've had to learn a lot of time saving hacks. And I also was a single mother after I lost my husband to cancer when my kids were quite young. And I was a single mother for years. So saving time and juggling the balls is my thing. Like I have been there, done that, where I felt like I was just on a hamster wheel day in, day out. So if you are in that position, hopefully today some of my tips are going to get you to be able to breathe just a little bit more. So I've got 14 tips for you today. So let's get started. So number one, set timers for tasks. So if you have a little bit of a competitive nature, which is what I do, I love to set a timer and just see how many TikToks can I record in that 30 minutes. How many emails can I smash out in 30 minutes? What can I do in a certain amount of time? So also it stops me getting distracted. So I have a bit of a shiny object syndrome thing happening. I don't know if I have an ADHD brain, but I just get distracted and my brain jumps all over the place. So having a timer set, I just, no matter how much I want to go and do, check an email, look at something else, because it pops into my brain, I just stay until the timer goes off. So the timer works in two ways for me. One, as it stops me, it keeps me focused. And the second one is it's my competitive nature comes out and I try and smash out as much work as I can get done in that time. All right, number two is time blocking. So I have started using Google Calendar and time blocking everything out. And at first I was a little bit like, why do I need to do this? But it really opened my eyes into where I was spending my time. So if you put in everything, all your family time, what you're doing, you will actually look at it and go, am I really spending enough time on my business? I say I want this business, but am I spending enough time on it? Or am I spending time watching TV, Netflix? Now, don't get me wrong. I love nothing more than at the end of the night than to snuggle up against my husband and watch, some Netflix or something that we both enjoy. Like I love that time, but I don't do it every night and I don't do it all night. So I just have a look. Or you might be somebody that has young kids and a family. So you need to get your work done before 5 o'clock or before 6 o'clock so that you're free then for the rest of the night to do dinner, baths, read books, get to bed, get everything ready for the next day, all of that kind of thing. So time blocking really works. A, it keeps you on track, and B, it lets you know where you're spending your time. So after you do it for a few weeks, you can go back and have a look and go, oh, okay, I'm spending too much time doing this and not enough time doing that. Or maybe I can actually save a bit more time that I can have some free time if I do this. All right, so number three, this is a really unusual one, but a big one, and it's changed the way you talk about time. So many of us, I hear you say it all the time, and I have been guilty myself. I'm too busy. I don't have time. I'm crazy busy. Where am I supposed to find the time? But here's the thing. If we speak like that, then that is going to be our reality, because there is that law of attraction where what you think about and what you talk about is what you attract. And I'll give a really good example, which has got nothing to do with time. But when I first met my husband, he had this habit of every time I would ring him and say, how are you? He would say, I'm tired. All the time. I'm tired. And I actually got into a bit of a habit of saying it myself. And then I started to notice that I did feel tired all the time, whereas I hadn't before. So I made a conscious effort to stop saying it. So, and then I said to him, the more you talk about being tired, the more tired you are going to be. It's just the way the world works, the way the universe works, whatever you want to call it. So it's the same with time. If we constantly say to ourselves, I'm too busy, I don't have time, you're right, you are never going to have time. But I like to say I have all the time in the world to do everything that's important to me. So if you just have to flip the switch and use a different language, and you will find it makes a huge amount of difference. All right, tip number 4 is to multitask on things that are routine. For example, you can listen to a podcast, an audio book, or a training while you're A, out walking, or B, in the gym, or C, in the car. I do it a lot in the car because I'm often in the car. And sometimes if I've got an hour's drive, there's no way I'll just listen to music. I will always listen to a podcast, listen to a training, listen to something that I need to listen to, but I'll do it while I'm driving. All right, number 5, learn to say no. Seriously, this is one of the best tips you can have. Now, I am someone who loves nothing more than if a girlfriend rings up and says, do you want to do lunch or do you want to have a coffee? I love to do that, but it takes up so much time. And sometimes we have to look at things we need to give up in order to go up. So if you're wanting to start a business and you need to have a time that you can focus on starting that business, doing your research, learning, then you might need to say no to some things, or you might need to say no to even members of your family. Or if you already have a business and you're not getting the results that you want and you need to really focus, then you might need to say no to some things. It's been one of the best lessons that I could have learned. I would love to not say no to everyone. We all want to please everybody. We don't want to disappoint anyone, but it comes down to what you want. And if you don't want to feel stressed and pressured all the time, learn to say no. All right, number 6, batch tasks. So this is a really interesting one because sometimes when you time block out things, it might be design some logos or some YouTube covers or whatever in Canva. If you get through those tasks and you've got some spare minutes, then do another one while you're there, or try and batch. Look at all the design work you have to do and batch it all at once, because if we stop and start all the time, we lose so much time and energy. It seriously does. We lose minutes while we're sort of stopping, then going into the next task, getting ready for the next application or website or whatever tool we have to use. So try and batch them as much as you can all at once. If you've got recordings to do, batch them, because you can just knock them out one after the other instead of stopping and starting all the time and going and doing something else. All right. So number 7 is a Sunday night review. I love this one. And I love to sit down on a Sunday night and look at my week ahead. What is happening? How does my week looking? Do I have time to do all the things I actually need to do? The activities that are going to improve my business or bring money in through my business. They're the most important activities. So do I have time to do that? Is there anything I can outsource? Is there anything I can just dump? Don't need to really do. It's just something maybe I'd like to do. So Sunday night, looking at the whole week ahead, you can look at your family schedule, everything, and get a really clear idea of how the week is going to go. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it goes that way, but I really like to actually have really good insight so that when I start on Monday morning, I hit the ground running. All right, so number 8 is to block out family time. It's so important, no matter what age we are, to have time for our family. So have time for our kids, have time for our partners, have time for parents, for other family members, have time for friends. So block those times in, put them into your calendar. It's great for your relationship health. It's great for your mental health. And just to have that break from work. You can't just be focused on work all the time. Yes, there are times when we need to lean in and be more focused, but always have family time and make it non-negotiable. Doesn't matter what else comes up. make sure it doesn't intrude into your family time. Number 9, work in Google Docs. This was such a good tip for me. Once I put everything in Google Docs first, and then I transfer it. And the reason that I do this is because Google Docs saves all the time. So I'm not going to lose everything. Whereas if I was working in my email provider, my email software, and then all of a sudden it crashed, I would have lost everything. And this has happened many times before. Or I'll be in the middle of typing all my Facebook ads inside the ads manager, and then, something happens, the computer freezes and I lose everything. So if I have it all typed out in Google Docs first, it's always there, then I can transfer it over to whatever platform or wherever I need it to be. The other great thing is that I can access Google Docs from my phone, like wherever I am, I can get access to it. So if I'm only halfway through working something and I've got 10, 15 minutes in the car, then I can actually tap into on my phone and get some work done while I'm there. Okay, number 10 is a to-do list. Now, I try to only put a certain number of things, which I'll talk about in a minute, on my to-do list, but the to-do list is never ending. There is always going to be things on your to-do list because every day we have new activities that need to be done. So I have a general to-do list that I keep adding to, and then I'll talk about the next tip where it's priorities. But have a to-do list so that you can have what's really important and then what's not so important. But you can keep looking at all the things that you need to do. Now, once a week, it's a really good idea to go through that list. Is there anything there that you really don't need to do? Is there anything that can be delegated to somebody else? So go through it and farm off stuff that you don't actually need to do. All right. So the next one was choose 3 to 5 priorities a day. So from that to-do list, then choose the most important things that you need to get done on that day. And we might think 3 things really isn't enough, but it actually is. If you think about it, if you are doing 3 important tasks, 3 priorities every day, that's over 1,000 important tasks that you've done in a year. That's a lot. That's a lot. So, but make sure you can get those 3 done, 3 to 5 done every day. The number 12 is hire a VA. I've just done this and it's just been brilliant. They take care of so many of the small things that I actually that need to be done, but they don't need me to do them. And I'm not getting them done because I haven't had the time, or felt like I haven't had the time. There's been more important pressing matters or more important pressing tasks that need to be done that can only be done by me. So hire a VA. That you can hire somebody within your area, you can hire somebody within your country, you can hire them from within another country. So my VAs in the Philippines works brilliantly. So sometimes there might be a time delay difference. So just work with what you feel comfortable with and what your budget allows. Okay, number 13, find and use apps that do the tasks for you automatically. So examples of this is Zapier, where you can connect different platforms. So I can connect anyone that signs up through my lead pages, then all gets connected to my email software so that then the email and everything goes out. I can connect, I use a program, called Group Leads. So anyone that answers the questions and joins my group, my Facebook group, all of their answers, I don't have to copy and paste them all. They automatically get put into a spreadsheet. And also if they pop their email in, that also automatically gets connected to my email software. This will save you a ton of time. Yes, it does take a bit of time to set up in the beginning, but once it's set up, it just runs automatically in the background. And the last one, number 14, this one's really important. Turn off your notifications. How many times are you checking your phone or your when you're on the computer to see what emails have come in, what Facebook messages have come in, what comments have been done? Turn off your social media notifications and just have allocated time to go and check them through the day. I find that I've actually got my phone is connected to my watch, and then the notifications were coming in on my watch, so it was constantly telling me that I was constantly being distracted. So once I turned off my notifications, I have been so much more productive. It has saved me so many hours of distraction, basically. Okay, that's it. They are my 14 top time management hacks or tips. Let me know, which one are you going to try? Which one have you tried and worked? If you have other ideas, other time saving hacks and tips, please let me know. I am always after anything that's going to save me a bit of time. And if you are someone who's wanting to start a business and you don't think you've got time, you do. You just need to prioritize what you're doing. Do the time blocking, map out what you're doing during the day. I know there's going to be time in there for you to get done what you need to get done. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've loved doing this training. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.